Yes, there's no doubt about that. I mean, look at what was said right there. I mean, all you got to do is go to that clip and play it over and over and over again. And there's not a voter in Georgia, a conservative, Republican, or a Trump voter who doesn't have an obligation to go back out to stop Chuck Schumer. I mean, it wasn't just a slip up. They do believe in terms of taking over the world, taking over America. And they have this idea that this ideology is bigger than themselves. They are who is right. And what is always interesting to me is they always talk in large terms, corporate terms, collectivist terms. They don't talk in terms of individuals. And so if you want to lose the individual rights and individual liberties and things that we have, then you will, Georgia voters, have a real choice between Ossoff and Warnock, and you have Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. There's a clear choice here, and we've got to stop Chuck Schumer.
You know, I've always thought that it was going to be tough for the Democrats to get back out there, right? That the big message was get rid of Trump. So they got all these folks that normally may not have voted. But Stacey Abrams, who is the former candidate for governor that still hasn't, announced that she lost because she says that it was stolen from her. This is what she says about the absentee votes down there, which I thought was quite troubling. Take a listen.
We know from the numbers that we're in a good place. 1.2 million absentee ballots have been requested thus far. And just to put that into context, 1.3 million were requested for all of the general election. And of that 1.2 million, 85,000 of those applications are from voters who did not vote in the general election, and they are disproportionately between the ages of 18 and 29 and disproportionately people of color.
Congressman, those numbers worry me. Do they worry you?
They do. Look, the day after our election down here, November 3rd, I remember getting a text from a liberal group asking me if I'm going to get an absentee ballot for the January 5th election. This is how organized they were. But what she's also being a little, more than hyperbolic here is as far as just saying these numbers and trying to inflate these numbers. Those also have to be turned in. And remember, Republicans also, we've been pushing very heavily down here to make sure that people, if they can't get out to vote, if they're going to be traveling, or if they can't get out right now, to also use absentee ballots as well. So right now, so far, the absentee ballot number has come in under what was actually used in the general election. So those numbers right now are balancing out. But it just goes to show something. If Stacey Abrams and them are trying to get these numbers out there, they're trying to, this is her subtle form of intimidation. This is her subtle form of voter suppression, saying, Republicans, you don't need to come out. It's time, though, for us to turn that tide and say, no, we need to come out. In fact, early voting in many of the areas that which Republicans are strong was actually very heavy over the last few days.
Senator Loeffler's opponent, Reverend Raphael Warnock, in 2017, a video has now surfaced of him saying some pretty not so nice things about you and your colleagues. Take a listen.
Don't tell me about gangsters and thugs on the streets. There are more gangsters and thugs in Washington, D.C., in the Capitol than there are.
It's amazing. Apparently, he wants to go work with all these people now. Do you believe that you or your colleagues are thugs?
No, it's amazing if he thinks that is. I mean, is he applying for that? Is because he wants to be a part of that? I mean, look, where in that gangster and thug quote? Because he seems to like to use that. He likes to use it against police. He likes to use it against Republicans now in Congress. But my question is, there's also from the Reverend here, where is it that there is love and compassion, the very things that come out of Scripture. But again, I'm not surprised. Also coming from a pastor who also claims to be a pro-choice pastor, which I have a hard time figuring out when I just look at my scripture and it says that God knitted us in our mother's womb. He knew us before we were ever conceived. These are the kind of things that are just inconsistent. And it just shows that was a peak when he was not running for Senate, when he was outside the spotlight, when he was promoting the liberal ideas. And now all of a sudden, when he's been cloistered with consultants and media-driven parliament, now he has puppy dog ads and things down here that try to train. There's no hiding who you are. He will be one of the most. Bernie Sanders move over. You are now seeing, and John Ossoff, who once thought he could be the most liberal, has nothing to touch on Raphael Warnock.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.